Signal Hill in Springfield, Tennessee. We are Ebenezer Broadcasting, WSGI, AM 1100, God's Informer.
AM 1100, WSGI, Springfield, Tennessee.
Hi, we're the Shire Brothers, and you're listening to WSGI, AM 1100, Springfield,
God's Informer.
Join me, Lee Marie.
Good morning and welcome to the Go Show. This is T. Rawls sitting in for Lee Marie this morning. We appreciate you joining us on this warm and humid Wednesday morning. Looks like we're in for some more rain this week. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for some sunshine. And I believe by Friday and for the weekend, we're going to have some nice weather coming up this weekend. So just hang in there with the weather. We're going to get dried up here before too long. I've got a special guest in the studio with me today. Mary Ann Oglesby-Sutherly is here from Veranda Ministries. We're going to be talking to her about her work with Veranda Ministries. Some of you may be familiar with it, but I'm thinking most of you probably are not. So we want to get her to kind of tell us about Veranda Ministries and what's going on with them. Good morning, Mary Ann.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's nice to see you again.
Good to see you.
As
Good
always.
to see you.
We appreciate you driving in this morning.
That was a drive.
Yeah, it is a drive for you to come
But I
in.
stopped at Chick-fil-A, so hey.
Hey, all right. Well, good.
Yeah.
You got something to tide
I
you
had
over.
something that tied me over.
Yeah. And I see you brought your good water from Arkansas
Yes,
there.
my Arkansas water.
Yeah.
I've been spending some time in Arkansas, so I got plenty of water now.
There you go. Good deal. Well, Veranda Ministries, I have the joy of being on the board at Veranda Ministries. As far as I know, I'm still on the
Yeah, everybody's still on there.
Okay. And I really, really believe in the work that you do and the work that the organization does. So take a moment, if you don't mind, and just tell people kind of an overview of what Veranda is, what Veranda Ministries is.
Well, we are a activity-based respite program that takes care of people living with dementia. It gives their families a little bit of time during the day that they can go and do things that we're used to doing, but they can't because they can't take their loved ones with them all the time. And they like to go, especially the wives, go get their nails done, their hair done. And it's hard to leave somebody sitting with dementia in a chair and tell them to sit there and not, get up and wander around, do things like that. So it gives respite. We're a respite program. I probably use that word a bunch because there's been a few issues in the last couple of days about respite versus some other things. And so, but really and truly what we do is respite, which means a short amount of time for someone to get to go and do something so they can rest if they want to. So we're our 14th year. And we've helped a lot of people in Sumner County, but we have people come from Goodlettsville and Lebanon. So they drive a long way to have that 4 hours.
And I know that we've had a couple of people from here in the county,
Yeah.
Robertson County, at least a couple that I know of,
Right.
that have been clients as well.
Exactly.
Of course, not to call any names.
No.
You had a retired pastor,
Yeah.
a retired fireman or fire
Yeah.
chief.
We still have him. He was there yesterday, bossing us around. We had a choir. He was happy. The Welch
yeah.
choir came yesterday, so he
great.
asked me. I asked every time he's there, "Are you gonna sing?" No, it's not my day to sing. Well, when is your day to sing? Just a great family. But he got a whole choir yesterday, so he was happy.
Good.
He wasn't happy that they only sang 4 songs, but he was happy that he got his music.
He does love the music.
He does. He loves it.
Okay, and so you're serving the client and the family,
Exactly.
the caregiver
The caregiver.
and the client.
We kind of change it now because of Tifa Snow. She believes, and I believe with her too, that more than a caregiver, it's a care partner because you have to partner with someone to take good care of somebody. And so they're partners. No matter husband and wife are still partners, and you become the quote caregiver, it makes it sound more like all you do is give care, which really isn't the truth. You're in this together. You share the responsibilities of being a care partner. So, but people still call it caregiver. But we are trying to make it it's a partnership between 2 people or 3 people or whoever, how many people that are there.
And hopefully you have more than one on your team.
Exactly.
But you've got
But
Veranda
some
to
don't.
support you, right?
Yeah.
Some don't.
Some
have
do
anything.
not.
Yeah.
Some do not. And we're different than adult daycare because adult daycare is all day. We're only 4 hours. And we've proven, I think, in the last 13, 14 years that we can, in 4 hours, get them enough stimulation and socialization and all those things that they need that they're satisfied with it. And, yesterday we had some people from the state come. It's the first time we've ever had anyone from the state in all these years. Even with the legislation that was passed, we've never had anyone come and see what we do. And they were just thrilled and
Awesome.
promised that they will help us get the word out about respite, to get more respites, for me to help them figure out what's the best way to do that. And so we were thrilled with their visit yesterday. They loved it. They said when they walked in, the building felt good.
Yes, it does.
It does. I'm telling you, I thought about you because it was a man that said it, which was kind of unusual. Women get the warm and fuzzies more than the men do. But he goes, I felt it was good when I walked in.
Yeah. Well,
So,
you got a new building.
yeah,
back
we do.
Back around the first of the year.
Right.
And what you guys did inside, when I came in and saw it the first time,
Yeah.
I was just like, wow.
I know.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Bright and colorful.
Colorful and cheery.
engaging
And
it just
it is.
so peaceful. And
It is.
we had a prayer to dedicate it.
Yeah.
And and then what you did, tell people about the little soda shop that you built.
we have a
in the
soda
corner.
shop.
It's so neat.
It is. And that's the first thing the state saw yesterday. They go, look at that. And it's like an old-fashioned soda fountain. And we took some things that we already had, revamped it, so we'd have the bar itself, and then we got 50s and 60s looking things in it. And then Lisa, a friend of mine that works for a home care agency, she's a great artist. Her mother was like a renowned artist in Sumner County. We have a painting of hers in the veranda, and she did all of the hanging of the awnings. So it looks like we have window awnings,
It
and
does, yeah.
so she did a lot of the big lollipops and stuff that are painted, and each one are named after one of a client that has passed away.
Okay.
So it's Al's Place, which is what the whole thing's called, and then we have Harry's. Let's see, Harry's. No, it was Ricky's Root Beer. He has a big sign, and Miss Yvonne's got a big hand painted milkshake.
Yeah.
Here's a funny thing about her. She lived in Virginia. Her daughter Debbie brought her back here when she got so bad, but she loved milkshakes. Well, she was the first woman in that city in Virginia to run through the front of a building because they were trying to take her driver's license away from her, and she wouldn't give them up. And the next thing you know, she goes right through the front of the building of the bank, right through the president's office. Right, he looks up and here comes a car. So they took her license away, which means she couldn't go every day at 5:00 to get her milkshake. JB gets a call here in Tennessee, and it was the neighbor, and said, "I just had to let you know that your mama has walked 5 miles in the July heat and got her a milkshake."
Oh boy.
Miss Yvonne walked. She was determined she was going to get it, So they have great determination, but it's those stories that make the veranda what it is. We want to know their story. Everybody's got a story. You got a story. I've got a story. So we don't want to lose who they were.
Right.
And she had tenacity. Now, I wouldn't walk 5 miles for anything to eat in July heat. Now, I'm just telling you. But by golly, she's had it her whole life, and she wasn't giving it up. Take her car, she didn't care. She still had 2 legs. She was a farm girl, she said.
Yeah, how about that?
Didn't hurt her to walk. So, yeah,
that may top George Jones riding his lawnmower to the liquor store. I'm not sure.
No, at least he didn't have to walk.
He probably couldn't.
He couldn't walk, yeah. But Miss Yvonne did now. She was a pistol.
But the way it's decorated in there, the old timey looking signs, and then at the other end of the room, there's a stage and a platform and a great big TV, and the furniture, the furnishings, everything is just first class.
Yeah.
It's really,
We're
really nice.
so proud of it. We're so proud of it.
Really, really, really nice. You mentioned Teepa Snow, and I want you to talk a little bit about who that is and the certifications and accreditations that you and the Veranda have from her program.
Well, to me, Teepa is the leading authority in this country on dementia care. And you can go to teepasnow.com. She has a great website for care partners and for us as people that have been trained by her. We have our own section, and she just has great information, common sense information. Things like you can take the keys away, but that was who Yvonne was. She wanted that milkshake. And so do you stop Yvonne from going, or do you figure out a way to get her to get that milkshake? Even if you have to hire a caregiver to get her to that milkshake, that's what made her happy. And by golly, she was going to get it. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. She does have dementia, but she had done it every day. It wasn't the dementia that made her wanted the milkshake. It was the fact she always wanted the milkshake.
Part of her routine.
It was part of her routine.
Worth keeping, not going to hurt her to keep that.
No, exactly. And so it keeps her happy, and bad things do not happen, But that bank now does have big steel posts up in front of it, so that doesn't happen again. First woman in history, though, that they said run through the bank.
Bless her heart.
Took her driver's license away.
Yeah, bless her heart.
So yeah, Teepa has a way of creating in us a desire to find out who they are. That's how you help someone.
Minister to the individual. Where they
It's
are.
not looking at a blanket picture of a room full of 20 people with dementia. It's looking at an individual and saying, what makes her tick? What makes her do the things she does? We blame it on dementia, but it's really not so much the dementia. It's the ability for her to understand right and wrong, or even why I'm doing what I'm doing, but I've always done it. Why can't I do it now?
Yeah.
She doesn't have the capabilities of justifying things like that. And so that's what makes them do what they do. And so if you learn that, you're not quite so aggravated as a caregiver. That's just who Mama always was.
Oh, yeah, okay. So let me ask you this question. Those things that they've done all their life, they're part of their routine, the things they enjoy, things that does that keep them kind of grounded in a routine that helps them?
Routine is everything.
That helps them navigate this journey they're on.
Right. We can't change routines. I mean, just like you, if somebody gave you a Volkswagen Beetle and it had no air conditioning and no heat in it, but said, that's okay, you'll be fine. We'll put a coat on you and you'll be fine. And just roll that window down, and in the summer, the wind will blow. I mean, we used to be like that, but it isn't that way anymore. And they said, okay, Tom, this is what you have to drive. This is the best thing for you. Somebody's telling you what's the best thing for you when you know that's a lie. I'm hot and I get cold, and you're sitting here telling me this is the best. And so we create situations sometimes by trying to be pushy and say this is what you need. And there's a pecking order. I tell them, they laugh when I say that, but we had chickens, and my grandmother always tell me that rooster, he rules the roost. The rooster rules the roost here. Yeah. There's a pecking order here. He gets what he wants first. He's always going, because that's how it is with roosters. It's kind of not comparing them. I'm not comparing them to an animal, but there's a pecking order. Mother, father, children, grandchildren before children probably, and some. But I mean, we all have that in our lives. And when we when we disrupt it and change it, our routines are everything to us.
And the dignity that the person has, that they still have, and they've always been the leader, or they've always been right.
It's their position
where they're respected and they're cared for.
Right.
You can't just turn that over. You can't just do away with it. Can
I had a lady call me on the way up here. We take care of her mom. Actually, it's her mother-in-law. Which, there you go. You got the daughter-in-law taking care of the mother-in-law. You can be starting out on some treacherous territory.
Yeah.
And she was upset because she can't deal with the fact that she just said, I just don't want to go over there all the time because she's so not nice to me. And I said, well, then don't. Find somebody else. It's okay. You're not going to change her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
you're not going to change her.
Routine.
You're going to have to change your routine because you can't change hers.
Fascinating conversation. My guest is Mary Ann Oglesby from Veranda Ministries, and having a great conversation. The time is just slipping right by. I need to get in a couple of our sponsors, so we'll take a short break here and talk about them. Southside Drug. Spring is in full bloom at Southside Drug, and they want to remind you that they're ready to serve you with not only their full-service pharmacy, but also with locally sourced unique gifts. Many of our local craftspeople and bakers now have their goods in Southside, so you never know what will pop up there, from delicious homemade bread to beautiful fresh flowers. So stop in and soak in some hometown charm at Southside, located at 1000 South Main Street in Springfield. That's right by the railroad track across from the Depot Restaurant, if you know where that is. Store hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and they will give you the local personal touch. It's good to have some local people to help you and to deal with. So be sure and go by and see Southside Drugs, and or visit them online at southsidedrugco.com, southsidedrugco.com, and tell them Lee Marie sent you from The Go Show. Ridgetop Mower of Springfield. How's your mower running? This is the time of year where, with all the rain we've had, the people that cut grass and the people that cut my grass, I don't cut my grass anymore. I decided when I got to a certain age, I wasn't going to have to do that no more. So that's a luxury I afford myself. But they are so behind, they can't keep up because of all the rain. So you got to keep your equipment in good shape and keep it tuned up and running right. When was the last time you had your blades sharpened, or a tune-up or an oil change on your lawnmower? You need to take care of your equipment. And Ridgetop Mower Springfield is your expert for all your mower needs, parts, and service. They even do pickup and delivery, and they'll even take your unwanted equipment. If you've got some old skeletons of lawnmowers laying around or something you don't need anymore, they will pick it up for you, and they'll try to recycle some of those parts and put it to good use. You can also pick up your very cool WSGI radio sticker there at Ridgetop Mower of Springfield. So go by and see them. They're located at 1100 Matthew Street in Springfield, and they're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. until noon. Or you can call Gary at Ridgetop Mower and get your mower service today. The number is 615-855-0044. That's 615-855-0044. And you can save 10% on parts and labor when you tell him Lee Marie sent you from The Go Show. All right, we're back to speaking with Miss Mary Ann Oglesby-Sutherly from the Veranda Ministries, and located in Gallatin, Tennessee.
Gallatin.
So not too far away from us.
No.
And serving people around our entire area. people that have discovered the Veranda and that have loved ones who are dealing with memory-related issues, dementia, Alzheimer's, which they're not all the same. There's some different. But and you even have some people dealing with some other things that come.
Right.
Maybe Parkinson's or maybe some other issues.
Right.
That's if you need a place to help you as a family member to navigate this journey with your loved one, you need to talk with the people at Veranda Ministries and let them help you and tell you about the programs that they have available. Tell us, Marianne, the clients that you serve, they come in Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday?
Right.
4 hours a day.
4 hours, right. 10 to 2.
10 to 2. What happens in that 4 hour period? What's the schedule?
Well, when they get there, we just sit around and we have we just talk. We seat them at a table that's of the same cognitive level. So if you're early onset, you're sitting with other people that are early onset. If you're closer, and we call them gems, Tipa's gems, if they're more ruby, if they're whatever stage they're in their journey, we try to seat them according to that. That way, you don't have someone that's brand new in the journey sitting there looking at someone who can't help it but deteriorating. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. And so they become buddies at their tables. They know usually now which table to go to. The men are at a table. I found out a long time ago, don't put the men with the women because that's not going to work. And the men love having their buddies there to talk about war, talk about their jobs, being a fireman and one being a dentist and one being... We've had engineers, like we had a man that built the rocket, the Saturn rocket.
Wow.
He was the engineer on the third section of the Saturn rocket, and he brought a picture of actually a model of the rocket and told us which part that he did the electronics in. So, yeah, we had him rode a camel. And so he brought his picture of the camel. He worked for, Chalice's husband worked for Aladdin.
He rode a camel.
He rode a camel. Okay. He went because Aladdin does have...
camel. He didn't ride the camel, too.
No. He rode camels when he would go to Saudi Arabia because they do have that's where the headquarters of Aladdin used to be. Now it's in Hendersonville. There's a big headquarters there, and he worked out of there, of course. But he traveled all over the world for Aladdin. And so he would tell us all about his trips to the camels,
brought pictures,
and brought pictures.
So,
because that's what they do remember is their life then, and so it makes them proud. They were proud to be smart, and we have a lot of veterans that talk about the different wars that they were in. We've had several, not now as much, but in the beginning, we used to have lots of World War II veterans. Yeah. There was nothing any more patriotic than a table full of World War II vets. Yeah. Vietnam's a little different. Vietnam's a little different.
I'll get teary if I talk about this, but I'm going to anyway. To see those men stand up,
I know,
at attention, and salute,
that
flag, and sing the national anthem.
Yeah.
It might take them a minute to get up and get steady.
Yeah.
They're not going to sit there.
No.
They're going to stand up and salute.
No.
That really.
They do it all the time. They did God Bless America Tuesday, and they saw the flag. If they even see the flag, they'll salute. Doesn't matter where it's at, they just salute. Yeah. That's who they are. That's, yesterday I asked Robert, and he told me where he was at. He had climbed a pole, and he was in the Army, and he was He was the Army Man of the Month, and he was down in Louisiana. I said, well, Lord, they sent you to the pit because it is hot in the Army base in Louisiana, but swamp down there. And he said, that's all right. But you know what? He came back and he's made a great life for himself, owns an electrical company. He ran the company. His son ran the company. Now his grandchildren are running that electrical. He can tell you about wiring the stadium, Titan Stadium, all the Krogers, so the men have stories too. It's not just the warm, easy. The men have great conversations. So they sit at their own table and brag and tell all kinds of stuff,
You have music, and you have other ways to engage.
Exercise, all kinds of games. We play cornhole, dementia style. We play, we have baseball. We use snowballs. and ball bats, and we swing so we can play that on the inside.
Those little fuzzy
snowballs. Yeah, I mean, we throw them at each other, and it's we just try to have fun.
What they can do.
And they as what they can do. We don't care who wins. It's nice to play a game that you really don't care who wins, but I'm gonna tell you, then they get competitive.
Yeah, that's what I
saw when I visited. I'm telling you, they get so competitive. That drive in us, we want to win. We want to win.
Yeah. And then you also have, do you have devotion every day, or is Bible every day?
We talk about it every day. And then once a week, we have kind of a little mini devotional. And every day we say what we're thankful for.
Good.
And so that usually leads into, and it's pretty amazing to see someone very far along in a disease that doesn't know what day of the week it is, but you can ask a question as to what you're thankful for, and he'll say every time that Jesus saved my soul.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
And he doesn't leave out a word. He says it exactly like he said it his whole life.
Yeah, and I'm reminded. You and I've talked about this before. I'm reminded of the scripture where Jesus said, "The Lord said, I will never leave you nor forsake you."
Exactly.
And when they can't remember anything else, you start singing "Amazing Grace" or "The Old Rugged Cross," or you ask them if they know who Jesus is. Oh yes, they can tell you all about Jesus because He is still there.
Yeah, it's in a different part of the brain too. That's what I think the miracle of us is. On the left-hand side of the temporal lobe front, there is language, which is English, French, all these our language.
Mm-hmm.
On the left-hand side is rhythm and poetry, what is music?
Music, yeah.
And so rhythm is huge. Like I have a little lady that goes, I'll say, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you too. She says everything in triplicates, but it's a rhythm thing. So once she gets started, I'm good, good, good. Everything has 3. And it's because that part of the brain is filling in for the other part of the side that doesn't really want to. She couldn't say, I'm doing very well today. How are you? The language kind of is mixed up.
Mm-hmm.
But when she put it in a rhythm pattern, then she'll say just one word, good, 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 love, 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 love you. Mm-hmm. She can say one, but it gets that rhythm. But it's stored in a different place. And so I think God did it because poetry and prayer has a rhythm to it.
Mm-hmm.
It has especially people, African-American churches, they have a really good way of doing things sometimes. And it's a lot of the times to rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, they will retain that forever. I have seen it. They keep rhythm really good, and that also helps you with the music because you get to keep rhythm. You get to do something with your hands that you've always done, clap and things like that. So yeah, God knew where to place music.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
it gives us great hope till the end.
Yeah, amen. And the rhythm, you take someone who stutters real bad.
Right.
Who was it? Was it Jerry Reed or Mel Tillis?
Mel Tillis.
Couldn't talk, but he starts singing
rhythm.
a song, put it to rhythm.
Yep.
All the way through.
All he goes, because that's not a language. It's stored somewhere else.
That makes a lot of
sense.
Yeah.
And I think they work. I'm not a therapist, a vocal thing, but in that way, but I do believe that he that left frontal temporal lobe allowed him to do that, allows them to sing, because most anyone that stutters can sing or whistle.
Yeah,
they can whistle.
Yeah.
And
when you're teaching children, singing a little song,
yep,
it's
the rhythm that gets them,
puts it in there.
Row, row, row your boats is not but 2 words, 3 words.
You're talking a lot about the brain, and I want to ask you about brain health. I'm reading some things recently about how nutrition impacts our brain health and certain maybe over-the-counter meds that are bad.
Right.
What are some things people can do to help brain health?
Brain health is, if you think about your brain, it is people think our hearts is what keeps us alive. Truly, it is not. Now, if your heart quits, you're going to pass away. But your heart quits because your brain didn't send a signal. It said beat hard. And so the brain really is the central location for everything we do in all of those different lobes. They're everywhere. There's little pieces of your brain that do certain things. It's not one certain thing. Frontal temporal, left temporal, up here on the top does one thing, back here on the back. Our anger, our laughter, all of that comes in from different parts of the brain. And so it controls us. And so it washes itself at night. It has a cleansing thing that it goes through at night to clean toxins and things out of itself. God's pretty smart.
While you're sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, we wash everything on the outside, but we think on the inside it's this. We don't want, but it does. The brain, because it's going to fire out signals. If it's dirty and clogged up, it doesn't work real good, like a stopped up drain. And so our brain will send out signals, but when it's asleep, when we're asleep, it rests and it cleanses itself. If you do not sleep, you're in some big trouble. Those that cannot sleep and do not get a lot of sleep, and I can tell you from me, the less sleep I get, the meaner I am, the less able I am to focus. I cannot focus. How many, if you've been up all night, what's the one thing you cannot do? Focus to think about what you're doing. I'm too tired. I can't drive. I can't watch all the, your brain is tired. It gets wore out too. And so we have to protect that brain. And so, Salmon, things we eat, sugar is our arch enemy. Period.
Now, go easy now. Don't get to.
I know, meddling.
Meddling.
Being as I stopped by and got a diet frosted lime lemonade, but they have it with peaches now. So I was thrilled.
Well, you got some fruit, yeah.
Yeah, it's got some fruit in it. But
that's
if we abuse
it,
it's hard.
Very difficult to give up.
It's addictive.
Sure, it is addictive.
It's addictive.
But it's very bad for you, is what you're saying.
It's bad for your brain. It's bad for you, and it's bad for your bloodstream. My sister that just passed away was a terrible diabetic. Nothing they did. And a guy that you and I both know was in the hospital. He has lost 100 pounds, and he still had a 600 reading on his glucose.
Wow.
His insulin. They had to go to the hospital. So it controls us. It controls our kidneys. It does all those things. So sugar is our enemy. It just doesn't matter. It just is what it is. The sugar is a killer, and we shouldn't eat it. Alcohol, large amounts of it, is not good. Everything filters through there. Your brain's a big filter, so that's what makes you feel good when you drink. It's not your arm that wants to wave. It's your brain saying, man, I'm happy. Let's go, Whatever you put in there, it's going to go there. It's a filtering system, and it's just terrible for it.
Alcohol and the sugar there, double
exactly.
whammy.
Well, what does alcohol? What, used to make moonshine, and it was like drinking, so they say. I never drank it.
I don't know, Mary.
I didn't drink moonshine, but I know
you got that Arkansas water. Let me
exactly. But my grandfather drank enough for the whole county. So he drank moonshine. We learned our moonshine stories from him. So, but it was terrible too. It was bad for your belly. All kinds of stuff. Everywhere.
Yeah.
So we need to eat. We have to be very careful. Chemicals. Medicine, Benadryl is terrible for your brain. It literally zonks you out. And for people living with dementia, it'll make you sleep. And so a lot of families mistakenly say, well, that Benadryl does, but it is not good for your brain. Because when your brain is out and it wakes back up from a medication like that, like a drug that's not a very good drug for, let's just say, I'm going to say it, Haldol. For some people with dementia, Haldol is a terrible drug. They never recuperate from a stay in a Jerry psych when they've had a bunch of Haldol and those medications. The brain cannot fix itself. It can't go from grade A to grade A. It's going to go from grade A to grade B or to grade whatever. And so whatever we do to our bodies, it's like we can't run and jump like we used to. Well, our brain isn't as healthy now as it used to be because of all the toxins and chemicals and bad foods and things that we've done. Exercise, I hate to say it, walking is one of the best things for your brain.
Yeah.
It clears out your brain. It clears you out. And I have walked 1,000,000 miles since I had my heart attack. And I'm going to tell you, it's the truth. It is the truth. You can start walking and hear the birds singing and time and things just. So that's a good thing for it. And then food-wise, you cannot, I know people, you either like salmon or you hate it. And it is probably, I went to Dr. Moody's we spoke at the same conference, and he said, I'm going to tell you, you want to be healthy? You eat salmon, and you eat salmon, and you eat salmon,
Okay.
and you eat broccoli.
I like salmon.
And you eat broccoli, and you eat broccoli, and you eat green, and you eat green, and you eat green. And you don't eat sugar, and you don't eat sugar, and you don't eat sugar. And he said, you will feel so much better because it's kind of like, everybody laughs at me. You have a stuffed up commode. You can pour water in there if you want to, but all it's going to do is it's not going to unclog anything. You have to get a special chemical. And so there are good meds for our brains, but Benadryl and some of those are not. Good food, good health is. And so once you get conscious of it, you'll see
the difference.
You'll see the difference in how you feel.
Okay. Man, what a great conversation we're having with Marianne Oglesby-Sutherly of the Veranda Ministries in Gallatin. And I'm going to take another commercial break. When we come back, I'd like for you to talk for a minute or two about how you're seeing younger people come in that need your services. And also, if you'll touch a little bit on the state legislation that you mentioned that was passed and what that did. And we've got, where did time go? My goodness. Let me get these sponsors in. We come back, we'll talk some more.
Okay.
This may be part one. We may have to do this again. Okay. The UPS store is your one-stop shop for all your printing needs, packing and shipping materials, office products of all kinds. They have you can get business cards made there, of course, and your letterhead and all those kind of things. But if you need blueprints, you need something unusual size printed, they can do that. They can make your yard signs, your vinyl banners for your business or for your event. You can get all of that at the UPS store. They also provide document shredding. They also have a mailbox service. If you want to have your mail delivered there, your packages dropped off there, you can do that. And they provide notary services. How many times have you found yourself in a situation where you need to get something notarized and who's a notary? Where do I go? You can go to the UPS store and they can take care of that for you with a smile, with their great customer service. And you can also ask about same-day service for many of the print jobs. And UPS store, we're blessed to have a great one here in Springfield, located at 513 Memorial Boulevard. And look for the blue awning, 513 Memorial Boulevard, the UPS store in Springfield. And tell them you heard it on WSGI on the Lee Marie's Go Show, or you can call them at 615-384-0093, 615-384-0093, or just stop in and tell them you heard about them on WSGI on the Go Show with Lee Marie. DK Styles and Tanning is your local favorite for haircuts for everyone of all ages. They provide styling, color, perms, waxing, and tans. I think I'll pass on the waxing part. And now,
Go ahead.
DK Styles also has an in-house manicurist, so they give you your full-service salon there at DK Styles. And they're a big supporter of our military, which I really appreciate, and our first responders, and they offer discounted haircuts for them. I think it's only $20 for a full-service haircut for the military and first responders. And they're open Monday through Friday, 9 till 7, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturdays 8 to 3, and they're located at 3538 Tom Austin Highway, 3538 Tom Austin Highway. Call today for your appointment at 615-384-8999. Again, that's 615-384-8999. And be sure to tell them Lee Marie sent you from the Go Show. All right, we're back with Marianne Oglesby. And Marianne, tell me about how you're seeing younger people come in with dementia. Right. It's not all
early onset dementia.
Early onset.
And we actually have more people under 74 than we have above 74.
Wow.
So if you're 72 and you're in mid-stage dementia, you've had it since your early 60s. Actually, most people, the process of plaque buildup in the brain starts at around 40. You just can't see it.
Wow.
So, this is something not that we as older people need not try to take better care of ourselves, but as you are younger, I think that's where all of this health and things people are trying, especially if their families have dementia, as to how I can ward that off a little bit. What can I do to be healthier?
The younger you start, the better off you'll be.
Exactly. So, I mean, I know people that wouldn't eat sugar if you poured it down their throat. They've just never done it. It wasn't a part of their family. Sunday lunches were, what's dessert? Who cares if you're having fried chicken? What did you make?
Banana pudding or
banana
what
pudding or whatever,
Cake
so
or whatever,
it's part of it. But early onset, and it's tough because most of the time the spouse is working or the person is working. So you lose an income. And here's the kicker about our system. To get on disability for that, even though it is a death sentence, it's terrible. You cannot hardly get. It takes years to get on it.
Wow.
Even my sister, it took us 5 tries, and we had to pay an attorney finally, and end up in New Orleans. Court was in New Orleans.
Wow.
For Texarkana, Texas. That's where it was just craziness to get disability. She could do nothing. She couldn't work. She couldn't do anything. So same thing with dementia. You cannot work. They all have to give up their income. And so it is devastating too. Your Social Security keeps going if you're older. But for the younger generation, you lose half your income because you can't work.
Wow. Kind of a catch-22.
And the cost of it is high.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the legislation that you got passed. Was it in 2021 when we were doing that?
I think it was
2020 or
it was before COVID.
Everybody was locked in and you couldn't go visit your loved one in the hospital.
Oh, yeah. Now, the legislation was done before then, but it happened right after then. So, but here's the cool thing about that is we did meet yesterday with Representative, from Representative Slater, and we're discussing some changes that we want to add to that legislation, like giving us more people, things like that. But it was really interesting. Some things are coming down the pike that I think will be really good for us. I can't tell just today what it is, but we do have people backing us now from the Hill, as I call it, or downtown, that we've never had before until yesterday. And they loved the veranda. They loved what they saw. They said it was a great place. When they walked in, they could feel that it was a great place. And so, but Representative Slater is going to help. We're going to have some help. We're going to have to probably go back to the Hill, which I dread worse than anything, to get some changes because, sometimes the enemy comes after you.
Oh, yeah. There's two things I recall. One was the right to have a loved one in your hospital room with you or see you in the hospital.
That was during COVID.
Even during COVID. The law was you couldn't, but you got that law changed where now you can, right?
No, they never did change that.
They
allowed children to do it. Children had to have a parent with them if they had COVID. But an elderly woman with dementia could have no one.
Okay, so that didn't get changed yet.
No, because that was a federal mandate.
Okay.
That was a federal mandate. That was sent from feds. And so I've learned a little bit, and the two does not mix. And so, but Representative Slater yesterday, he was so kind, and he agreed that he would help us. So I'm going to go back to the veranda today, get an email out to him saying, this is what we want, da-da-da-da-da. I did learn something, though.
What's that?
For anyone that wants to know, I was surprised. When you get a bill and you get legalities and you have a bill, if you don't, in that bill, it can be changed, and the legislators don't know it because it goes to another entity, and they are the rule makers. So if they see something in there and someone comes in, slips in and says, well, I want to change this, and they'll say, well, I think that's great at a committee hearing of some kind. Has nothing to do with the legislative side. It has to do with that. Actually, it's probably called bureaucracy, but there's a big building down there that has a huge, and so he goes, yeah, they can do it. I said, well, then I need your help, because if they can change our legislation by just a pencil and a piece of paper, then we need to do something. So I think he's going to help us, and he'll get it, he'll get it done for us. But I was just surprised at that. I would have thought a bill that was passed into law was law.
That's how it went into law. But
It is in there, but
not.
they can, if someone has a,
make a little change on it.
yeah, I don't know what they do, but anyway, so the legislation was huge for us because it gave us validity, and they knew it was the truth.
Now, let me. We're almost out of time, so let me see if I'm understanding this right. There was there legislation about it was okay for a church to
Yes.
have an adult
Yes.
program.
They could house it. They could house it. The church would house it, and
like they have daycare for children.
like Mother's Day Out program.
Mother's Day
That's
Out.
what it went through. Was like Mother's Day Out.
You could have a care
That's
program.
kind
of
of
some
changing now, and so that's the big issue with us, which I knew eventually it would. And so it's not a surprise to me, but I don't necessarily like it. But yeah, it was set up for that churches would open their doors and say, let's help the people in our community. That did not happen.
No.
I'm just going to be good honest. That did not happen.
It did not happen. Mm-mm. And what a shame.
And it's the
What a
aging
shame.
population. I mean, if you've been in this business long enough, you understand everything is driven by age. And children, rightfully so, I'm not saying anything bad, they will do anything for children to make life better. On the other end of life spectrum, they're dying and they have no value. And this is me speaking, Medicare is going down the tubes because there's so many boomers. But they were told boomers were coming and still didn't do anything.
We're coming.
We're here.
We're here.
We're here.
We're here.
So yeah,
Hallelujah.
the legislation was huge for us. Not a nay vote. Not one person. There was not one no vote. Everybody in the House, everybody in the Senate voted yes. But not many churches have said.
Okay, you church leaders out there, you hear that, and if you would like to know more about that, how you can minister, help your people in your community and your congregation and your families, get in touch with the Veranda. And we're out of time, but I want you to give out your contact information, your website. How can people get in touch with the Veranda or get in touch with you?
You can go to our website. It's, of course, www.verandaministries.org. And then what else did you ask me for? See, I'm having
Phone number.
Phone number.
Give out.
You know what? You can call my number, but I can't even remember our phone number. It's 615-675-4345.
4345.
4345. And I usually give out my number to most people, and I didn't want to give that one out. But that's it. And we're at 650 Nashville Pike. We're in the building 4 now in Gallatin. And you can go to our Facebook page, Veranda Ministries Facebook page. I have my own Facebook page. It's got lots of information on there as well. Yeah. And we have a private page that's called Veranda's Hidden Heroes. That's for caregivers. It's a private page. So if you join on it, we accept you in and no one can see. So you'll be able to talk to other caregivers. But it's a Hidden Heroes Veranda Ministry. So we're proud of that, and it's growing as well. So but basically, that's the numbers that we have. But we'd love to talk to anybody if they want to call. They don't have to bring their loved one there. We'll help them.
Do you have openings for more clients, more loved ones to come in? Okay, great. All right. Well, our guest has been Marianne Oglesby-Sutherly of Veranda Ministries in Gallatin, Tennessee. Marianne, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Fascinating as always, and the time just went
I know.
somewhere. So we'll have to do it again.
We will.
There's some other things on my list we didn't get to talk to. But God bless you and your work.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming in. Let me talk about another one of our sponsors, and we have some announcements to make this morning as well. Coldstream Christian Camp is located in Adams, Tennessee, and they've been partnering with families and churches since 1980. They provide ministry workers with short-term furloughs, men's and women's groups seeking fellowship, a place to meet, small churches needing more affordable campground options, or, of course, the Christ-centered summer camps, which are wonderful for our youth. Those are probably up and running and sold out by now. I don't know for sure. But you want to visit coldstreamchristiancamp.org, coldstreamchristiancamp.org, or call 615-696-2208. Again, that's 615-696-2208. They have a beautiful campus. They have lodges you can rent, cabins you can rent. If you're looking for a place to have a little getaway, maybe a little training program for your company or for your church or something like that, Coldstream is right here in Adams, Tennessee. You don't have to drive 3 or 4 hours to East Tennessee. You can just come right here to Adams, and a beautiful, beautiful place. So check them out, and be sure to tell them Lee Marie sent you. All right, in our announcements this morning, Springfield Baptist Church is hosting a Night of Champions on Wednesday, July 9th at 6 o'clock p.m. Special guest will be Gabe, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, Gabe Judy Lally, former Tennessee Volunteer and current Tennessee Titans defensive back. For more information, you can call 615-384-3581 or visit the church website at springfieldbaptist.com. The Mark Trammell Quartet will be singing at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Greenbrier on Thursday night, July 10th at 7 o'clock p.m. Mark is celebrating 50 years of full-time gospel ministry, and I'm excited to host the Mark Trammell Quartet once again this year. I've worked with Mark for over 25 years, and I'll tell you this, you'll not find any finer quartet on the road today. We always have a good crowd for this concert, so let me encourage you to come and to get there early because the doors will open at 5:45. Seating will be on a first-come, first-served basis. No ticket required, so there's no assigned seating. It's first-come, first-served. But we will ask you for a $10 donation at the door to cover our basic expenses, and we want to get a generous love offering for Mark Trammell Quartet. And again, that's at the Ebenezer Baptist Church at 6028 Ebenezer Road in Greenbrier, Thursday night, July 10th at 7 o'clock p.m. And while we're talking about concerts and gospel singings, let me also mention that Phil Cross and Poet Voices are coming to Ebenezer the next month on August the 10th, which will be a Sunday night at 6 o'clock p.m. And Phil Cross is one of the most prolific songwriters in all of Christian music. I guarantee you, if I started reading the list of his songs, you'd recognize many of them. And he has a great group called Poet Voices, and we're excited to have them at Ebenezer on August the 10th, Sunday night, August 10th at 6 o'clock. And then the Tribute Quartet will be at Ebenezer on September the 11th at 7 o'clock p.m. So if you want more information on the gospel concerts in our area that I know about, go to my website, AmericanTopGospel.com. That's AmericanTopGospel.com, or look for my Facebook page, American Top Gospel. Organic Community Church, where I'm the pastor, we'll be having our Vacation Bible School starting next Monday, June 23rd, and it'll go through the 26th from 9 a.m. until noon, and it's for daily 9 a.m. until noon, and for ages kindergarten through those entering 6th grade, I believe. There'll be crafts and music and Bible stories and videos and snacks, and we're using the Lifeway Magnified VBS curriculum. And we're located at 2427 Highway 41 South in Greenbrier, across from the middle school ball fields. That's Organic Community Church Vacation Bible School, June 23rd through the 26th. Crossroads Baptist Church will be celebrating their homecoming services on a different date this year. Normally they do it in May, but this year they're doing it on June the 29th, the last Sunday in June, at 10 a.m. The Higher Calling will be singing, and I will be doing the preaching that morning, and, of course, a great covered dish lunch to follow. And Crossroads Baptist Church is located on New Cut Road in Greenbrier, and that's on Sunday, June the 29th at 10 o'clock p.m. And then the city of Springfield is hosting their 5th annual Freedom Fest at the Robertson County Fairgrounds. The city of Springfield invites you and your family to celebrate our nation's independence at the city's Freedom Fest 2025. That'll be held on Thursday, July the 3rd at 4:30 p.m. Enjoy carnival rides, inflatables, youth games and activities, vendors, food trucks, and, of course, food trucks. You got to have food trucks and more food trucks and more. The city of Springfield is excited to announce that the American Idol runner-up, Will Mosley, will be the featured headliner at the city's 5th annual Freedom Fest. And it's time for a closing prayer, isn't it? We're out of time. We got 3 minutes left. Anything else we need to throw in last minute? I think we got everything here. Make sure I mention the things on my list. We got most of it. Next time I have you in, I want you to talk about the fact that you're a published author, a speaker, trainer, and a collaborator with other ministries, and the training that you also provide for families and the care partners as well. All right. Father, we thank you for this day, and we thank you for a wonderful show this morning. Father, I thank you for the work of Veranda Ministries. I thank you for Mary Ann, for her heart for these people that are so desperately in need of our help. And Lord, I pray you would give other people and churches in our area and other people in our area that care about people. Give them a heart, Lord, to help and to minister to those around them that they know that are struggling with memory-related issues, dementia, Alzheimer's. Lord, we know you love these people dearly. You'll never leave them nor forsake them. And may we do the same. May we never leave them. May we never forsake them, but love them and care for them as you do. Father, bless all of our listeners today, those who need encouragement, lift them up. Father, those who need healing, a special touch for them. Those, Lord, who are lonely, a special presence of your Spirit. And Father, we give you all the glory and all the praise because you alone are worthy. In Jesus' name, amen. Be sure and join Lee Marie. I believe she'll be back next Wednesday for the Ghost Show at 8 o'clock p.m. You've been listening to the Ghost Show on 1100 WSGI.
Join me, Lee Marie, every Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. on WSGI for The Go Show, your source for information, inspiration, and always some dates to add to your calendar. And every first Friday, we try to stump the wild doc, so keep sending in those puzzling health questions. You can email them to retrolemarie@gmail.com. Again, that's retro